Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Desiree, and for today's video I am doing a review of Dollar General's Beauty Believe, or Believe Beauty. And I recently just got a Dollar General here where I'm from, and I saw this array of makeup that I found to be really interesting. So yes, it is Believe Beauty. So I got this is a translucent powder. I got a foundation. This is a Lock-It Eyeshadow Primer and concealer, and this is color eye corrector because sometimes I have some really under eye baggage. So that's what I'm going to do for you today. I'm going to check it out. So everything under here I believe was about $5 or less. So I have my receipt to let you see that. So the powder here was $5. The concealer was $4. The eye primer is $4.50. The foundation was $5. The color corrector was $4. So I want to check this stuff out. I want to see if it's good. I want to see if it's worth my money. So let's get right into this. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prime my face. So I'm going to do this the way how I would do my foundation any other day. So I'm using the Revlon Plus Mattifying and Pore Reducing Primer. I really love this stuff. It's really, really good. I really like to work it here into my forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and here on the sides. Basically anywhere that I would get oily, and of course right here because I have pores that are enlarged. Okay, so now that I primed my face, I'm going to just go ahead and go in with this color corrector. So this is in the shade called Medium Deep. And I'm just going to take the end of this brush. This is by $1 Billion Brushes. This is a sculpting dual brush, and I'm just taking this end. I didn't pick up anything else in this collection only because I really wanted to focus on foundation and concealers, things like that. I really didn't want to focus it on a full face. So far it did a good job at concealing my darkness under my eyes. You can totally tell a difference on each side, as you can see. So now I'm going to just go back in. Same brush, same product. And I'm going to do the other side. Okay. But it is doing this really weird thing here in my inner corner. I don't know if you can see that, where it's building up. So I'm going to use my little weird contraption thing here. Just going to stick my finger in it like this. And I'm just going to go in and try to smooth it out a little bit. Okay, that seemed to work. It did a pretty good job smoothing it out because it was doing some weird buildup. This thing is actually pretty good. And I'm using this dry. It's not wet. Okay, so I did a pretty good job at blending it out. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to try is the foundation. So we're going to see how the foundation works. So it's got a pump like this. It is made out of glass, and I hope this is my right shade, because if it's not, I'm gonna look a little bit weird. Okay, I'm gonna look funky. So I'm just gonna take this brush here. This is a flat brush. This is the Luxie 510 foundation brush, and I took some here in the back of my hand, and I'm just gonna build it up here with my brush. And now I'm just going to put it on. And I'm noticing that it's not full coverage, which is okay. It looks almost like skin. So it's sheer, but it does like a little bit of a good job at covering, you know, some imperfections. You can see I have a lot of imperfections going on right now, but you can still see some imperfections peeking through. So I'm going to have to load up my foundation again. And try to see if I can build this foundation up, make it full coverage. So it still looks like skin on my face, but I can definitely see a lot of my imperfections poking through. I tried it with this, so the next thing I'm going to try it with is with a sponge. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with my finger, and I'm just going to really concentrate with my finger where I want this. And with my sponge, I'm just going to go in. So as you can see that it kind of covered up my redness here. But you can still really see a lot of it, like a lot of the red still poking through. So the same way what I did with this side, I'm just going to go ahead and do a second layer. And again, with my finger, I'm just going to take it and place it wherever. Mostly focusing it here where I'm trying to cover up the most. And here's another imperfection right here, so we're gonna focus that there. Okay, so for some odd reason, it feels like with the sponge that this side of my face actually looks a little more like full coverage than this side that I used to brush. So I'm kind of liking it. Only because right now, I mean, look at it, my pimples are completely covered. This right here is still kind of peeking through, but you know, I'm just going to take a little bit here on my sponge, and I'm just going to dab it some more, like that. I mean, you can still kind of see it, but it's not so bad that, you know, you just kind of don't care. So I'm just going to go ahead, and on this side, I'm just going to do the same thing. So, and it actually looks pretty smooth too, so it's not bad. I don't see any buildup. I don't see any cakiness at all. It actually looks like skin, and it doesn't feel heavy at all. So now we're going to go in with the concealer, and we're just going to see what the concealer does. So I'm just going to take my little weird contraption thing again. I'm just going to stick it here on my finger. It did such a good job with my under eye corrector that I think maybe this could do a good job. So again, with this little contraption, I'm just going to go ahead and blend this all out. So it did a pretty good job, and I like this. I think that this concealer is pretty good. Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. So now I'm just going to use my regular old Reliable here, and I'm going to do the same thing to this side now. So again, it did a pretty good job. I really like it. I see no buildup. It actually looks pretty dang good. So the next thing to try is the powder. So let's see how the powder does. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and take this brush right here. This is the same brush that I use for my under eye concealer. And I'm just going to take whatever powder that I have right here that came out. And so we're just going to... Oh my gosh. This is really powdery. I mean, yeah, of course it's powder. It's loose powder, but... Woo! Good lord. I didn't think it was going to come out like that. It's like everywhere. I'm gonna inhale it. And so I'm just gonna take some off, put some here at the back of my lid here, because that's a lot of powder, and I really don't want it just sitting on one part of the face looking really funky. So here goes nothing. And again, this is a matte translucent powder. Take my strange little contraption thing here. I can already see that this is starting to crease, but I'm just going to take my weird little contraption thing, and I'm just going to take some of the powder. Ooh, a lot of powder came out, so I'm just with my hand, I'm just going to try to take some of it off, and I'm just going to set under my eyes. The last thing that I have to try here is the eyeshadow primer. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that on right now. So it's got a doe foot applicator like this, and it reminds me a lot of my Sephora eyelid primer. It's the cooling tinted one that I use all of the time. If you haven't seen any of my videos, I use a Sephora tinted cooling eye primer, and it works really well. It's a beigey type of eye primer, and it really helps bring out eyeshadows like a lot. And this is what it's reminding me of, but let's see if it does a good job. Okay, so this is what one eye looks like, and this basically is what my beigey eyeshadow primer does for me. So far I'm liking it. Okay, so the next thing to do now is put on some eyeshadow. Okay, so while I was doing this eye makeup, I noticed that this primer has creased on me, so not sure why that's happening. And this stuff is really sticky, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but yeah, it's definitely creasing for some odd reason. Okay, so I'm back and I did the rest of my makeup off of camera. And while I was doing my makeup, I did notice a few things. My under eye is creasing really badly. And I did put powder, you know, underneath my eyelid. So I don't know why that's happening. I'm just going to smooth out with my finger. But, so the time right now currently is 7:08. So I'm going to be checking in with you guys to see how this makeup holds up. But I'm not going to touch up or anything. I'm just going to leave my face as is. And I'm just going to see how it holds up with time. So, and see you until a couple hours from now. Okay, so this is currently what the makeup is looking like. It is now 9:23. Not so bad. My under eye, I think, is still creasing pretty bad, as you can see. Otherwise, it's holding up fairly well. It's kind of rubbed off here a little bit. But yeah. So I'm going to check in again another couple more hours and see how well this has held up since then. So I'll be back. It is now currently 12:02 in the morning. I have been wearing this makeup about 6 to 7 hours now, and I am really greasy, but overall it's held up pretty good. This area has definitely faded, and you can see like build up really bad. My under eye concealer definitely did not last. It's you can see some patchiness here in this area from the eyeshadow primer, and over here is looking kind of off. It just looks a little bit weird. But other than that, it's actually not bad. This would actually last around the same amount of time as if I put my makeup on early in the morning and then went to work and then came home. But other than that, I mean, other than just some slight fading, maybe even a little bit here too, it's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. So I'm actually fairly surprised by Dollar General makeup, because I didn't think that it would last as long or that it would be this good. I actually did not have high expectations, but it has exceeded my expectations, and I'm pretty glad that I picked it up when I did. So I will continue to use it. So far so good. But now I'm gonna wash this all off and I'm gonna go to bed. So thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I am trying to make it to my goal of 100 subscribers. So if you want to help me reach my goal, that would be just awesome. So thank you so much. Good night or good morning, and see you next time. Bye.